guys, it's always good to be back right here on AfterBuzz TV for the Marlon Show. And today we've got a hilarious show in store for you. All that and more on AfterBuzz.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com.
Probably. Becca?
She just said hi. Starting over.
Hey guys, it's me, your host, Miss Candice Marie, and we're back for another phenomenal week of Marlon. That's right, this week we're talking about hospital parties, and yeah, Marlon decided to be somebody's coach. All that and more right here on AfterBuzz.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Did she just say kissy kissy boo boo?
Yeah.
Like really? Like how do you tell somebody that you're not sorry
Right.
and then say kissy? Like you're kind of teasing them just a little bit.
That's exactly what you're doing.
That's kind of like what's happening, and that's a lot of what we see on the Marlon Show between Marlon and Ashley all the time.
Yes.
Like I don't know how Ashley deals with his crazy self.
I mean, but you gotta love him, right?
I guess
He's
you have
lovable.
to.
We
is
love you,
lovable.
Marlon.
Speaking of love, I'm hoping that some love connections will spark between these two soon. I'm just sick and tired of them having me on the edge of my seat, having me thinking that something's about to go down.
Right.
Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Miss Candice Marie, and you can find me on Instagram at Miss Candice Marie and on Twitter at Sweet Kendora TV.
Hey guys, I am Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and Love Chae Butt on Snapchat.
What's up, guys? It's Shannon Clark. You can find me on all things social media at I am Shannon Clark.
I love it. I love it. You know, I have to tell you this, Shay. I love Shea Butter. Like, I love it. I think it's just so,
Right?
it's just the cutest.
It's like it makes you want to get lotioned up and like.
Right. like technically you have to have lotion on you at all times or some shea butter or something.
She does.
I actually do. Today I do.
Today she gave me lotion coincidentally.
Yes.
And it actually was shea butter, not even a joke. Seriously, so this all came because this guy I worked with, that was how he called me. He was like, he legit yells shea butter when he sees me because he's Jamaican. And for a long time I couldn't stand it, but like I was like,
It's up.
and I was thinking
actually
when I was thinking
kinda
about my
catchy. I
Snapchat, I
like
was
it.
like, what should I do? And then like that kept going in my mind. I was like, yep, I'm gonna use that.
I love it. I love it, girl. See, we're going to have to talk about that at another time because I feel like there's so much more to that story that we don't know about.
No, that was it. That's seriously it.
Like, nah, that's it.
She's like, no, that's it.
That's it.
Well, we had a really exciting day.
Yes.
For those of you that tuned in earlier, we actually had Atkins and Diallo live on Facebook chat with us, and we had a phenomenal
Yes,
conversation.
you can
ladies.
still go check that out, guys, in the chat. Go check it out. It's on AfterBuzz TV Facebook.
Possibility of smart guy reunions. You have to tune in to find out.
Yeah.
They shared a lot of little secret
Yeah.
nuggets that you definitely want to tune in and watch and find out about, right?
Yes.
Right? And speaking of nuggets and so much going on, apparently there was a hospital party
Yes.
in episode 7.
Random.
And it was crazy. like Ashley was trying to maintain the stability, but Marlon just said, hey, screw it. Like, my son's getting surgery.
Right.
And I just want to shake it up. I want him to feel comfortable. Actually, I think he was trying to make himself feel comfortable
Yes.
about the
Yeah.
surgery.
Yes, and you gotta love, I mean, at least I did. I loved his approach on this, throwing in that humor and, in serious situations.
Yes.
It could make it healthy, I mean, because if you're panicking, I'm panicking. We have a son, he's watching us. It's a recipe for disaster. So,
Which you kind of was.
we throw house parties.
Marlon not panicking. Marlon is, I can't even say his name today. He's always panicking.
Right. He is.
Yeah.
Like-
Well,
It was all like just everywhere.
You talking about the moment like where he lost it? Because he actually had that come to Jesus moment where he was like, "Man, my baby is about to go into surgery." Like, God, Jesus, take me,
Take me, Lord.
Lord.
Take me.
So let me ask you too. What parent would you be? Would you be Ashley or Marlon in this situation? If your baby was having surgery,
I would be more Marlon in the sense only because I'm not a hospital person. I'm not a funeral person. That's just not me. So like I try to uplift as much as I can because I personally I don't think I want to deal with this. So I'm trying to make you not deal with this too. If we can help, if we can go in that situation and deal with it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm an avoider. So yep, that's me.
that's you.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of both. I want to be funny and make jokes and, you know, make light of the situation, but equally I wear my emotions on my sleeve and some things I can't hide. So I'll probably be a little bit of, you know, Mashley, Marlon, and
I like that,
Ashley.
Mashley.
I like that, Mashley.
Shift names.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I would be, because I don't have kids yet, but even with my younger siblings, I'm so overprotective.
Good.
Like, if it were me, I would, like, I don't even want my children to play sports, because if somebody hits my child too hard, they hit him the wrong way, or if they get a little scratch on
You
their
gonna be
knee,
the one that
I'm gonna
run
be ready
down
to
it.
go in there. I'm gonna truck the kid myself.
We gonna hold
Okay,
Candy
we're gonna have
wait
some
a
serious
few
problems.
more years.
Right?
Listen, I
So
can't have
have
kids
her-
for a while, okay, y'all?
Yeah.
For,
Nah, like
for a
yeah,
long time.
I fight a kid too. Like for fighting my kid.
Listen to me. I'm
Not
going to
really.
jail.
I'm going for the parent. But I also think like that's a double-edged sword if you go for the parent because that parent's then gonna go for you and it's just a circle.
Y'all about to have a brawl. Y'all about to have a full-fledged
Well,
brawl.
because you can't fight a kid. I feel like you
Well,
can't fight a kid.
This
At least I can
character,
fight.
I feel like she would fight a kid, Yvette.
Yes.
And she is just so feisty and hilarious, and we just love what her character brings to the show every single week.
Yes.
But this week, she wants Marlon to be what? What does she want Marlon to be this week?
What, like the boundaries?
Yes.
Oh,
She
Well,
wants.
what does Yvette want Marlon to be? She wants him to take things more seriously.
Oh, of course.
yes.
Ashley does too.
Everybody
wants Marlon to be
to
serious.
just take everything more seriously. And Ashley's character, well, Ashley, she actually provided Zach with a cute little item called Babby. What did you think about Babby?
I think it's cute.
Cute.
I have a couple items that I've had from childhood that I was able to keep, hold on to, and it's adorable. Like, how can you not have those moments? I think it was cute. He asked for it in the end. You know what I mean? You know, when you really need it the most,
Yeah.
you want it. He kind of laughed at it. I think it was like missing an ear or
Oh
something.
my God,
I
Babby
don't know.
done
It's
been
kind
through
of
some
beat.
things.
Right?
Babby's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Babby? Did you see Babby? First of all, the teddy bear's name is Babby.
It's a bunny.
Oh, it's a
So that's why it's
See?
called Babby.
Oh,
again.
we didn't even know what type of
Okay,
animal
it
this
was-
It was
This.
a bunny. What?
Look, Babby's been around for a while. It's been through some things, and I'm just glad that she. You know what? I was gonna say I'm glad that it was able to provide some type of support.
Yes.
Eventually,
Yeah.
but I was really sad to see Babby still around. I feel like she should have put Babby to sleep a long time ago.
Nah.
like
You
no.
can't. You gotta. keep
I'm
something.
like with her. I still have stuff from when I was a kid that
Yeah.
I plan on passing it through.
so
like,
you have a Babby.
I don't have a Babby. I don't think I named. I don't. Okay, I take it back. I named it, but only because I used to grow up loving that horse riding show on like the Noggin when it was called that, and so I named mine Starbright because that was one of the names of the horses.
We got a couple of people in the group chat, like Savage Boy, Brendan, and Luop were definitely like team Marlon. And when it came to this parenting situation,
Oh my
everybody wants to add humor, and I think it's cool, but
does it take it too far?
That DJ, that was far. That was far for me. I'm like, you actually brought a DJ
it was far.
into
And
with
besides,
light up.
Being in a relationship with someone who is so humorous can be annoying because you have those moments where you want to be serious.
Yes.
This was one of them. You know what I mean? And I'm sort of kind of.
So you agree with Ashley that Zach is supposed to relax?
Right. I think I love the humor, but to a certain extent. Which brings me, house party, hospital party, house party, to a point where, a little known fact that, guys, a legend was on tonight's show.
Really?
And I guarantee you it went over the head of probably 99.9% of viewers. So the original legendary Soul Train dancer, Cheryl Song, was on Tonight's show.
Wow.
She was casted in this episode as one of the nurses that was in that hospital party scene. And if anybody, you know, old school with the
Soul Train.
with the Soul Train, y'all already know how they get down, and you know that was exciting. That was exciting.
Really?
I peeped that.
Describe her. What does she look like in today's episode?
Well, I think it was like a red, or you know, maybe she's like a brunette in this scene. She's like a, you know, Asian descent. I don't, you know, I don't know exactly her background, but I think she was wearing the blue hospital scrubs.
Wow.
And just getting down like as a Soul Train
So
dancer.
like you are like a true Soul Train fan, because it's so dope that you caught it. Because I was like, when she told me about it, I was like, girl, I didn't even catch it. I didn't even see her. But now that you say it, she was kind of killing it on the dance floor a little bit. I was like, okay, girl.
Shout out to Cheryl Sugg, still at it, like in 2017 dancing.
Man, I love it. I love it. You know what? This episode was just so dope because it definitely, like you ladies said, it taught us a lot about parenting styles. You know, so many different parenting styles. But the one thing that I think that they both provide together is a balance.
Yeah.
You know, Marlon's this crazy parent, and Ashley is just so responsible. And I think that all, you know, like together they've really done a really great job raising their kids.
Yeah.
Not to mention the same similarity that we keep mentioning week after week is the friendship and the relationship that they have.
Yes.
I think that's so great for all of America to see, whether you're black, you're white, Hispanic. People need to see that just because you're divorced and you're not together doesn't mean that you can't co-parent.
Yeah. And aside from co-parenting, still have so much love and respect for one another. And then as we watch the show, you know, and as the season has progressed, you see exactly how long, you know, why they lasted so long. It's so genuine, and
16 years.
It's a long time, but you can see it. Like, I still personally am like team Marlon and Ashley. Like, I want them to get back together. Don't know if that's gonna happen, but you can see the love.
Right.
You can.
I'm definitely rooting for them.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you know, with the finale coming next week, guys, it's full of many surprises. And if you tuned into our Facebook Live, I don't know, I feel like they were kind of hinting at, you know, we might get a little bit of that next week.
Yeah.
What do you ladies think? What are your predictions for the finale?
I told you I can't tell you. Because I know what actually happens. I can't say nothing.
My prediction for the finale is that they would probably leave us thinking that they are gonna reconcile and get back together. Hopefully they join that 38% club and have that one night. I hope so.
Well, you know what? Speaking of 38% Club, there was a scene in episode 7 where they were sharing the bed together.
Yes.
And sometimes when there's so much tension, you kiss. And I was hoping,
she did that slow pause. They kiss.
I was like, kiss, damn it, kiss. And they didn't kiss. So hopefully,
I thought she was gonna get pushed off the bed. Personally, I thought that was like gonna be
you know what? But you know what? The thing about Ashley, she's really good about setting boundaries. Now, in episode 8, Coach Marlon, he doesn't respect boundaries. Like we see that a lot in episode 8, that everybody's complaining about Marlon and his lack of boundaries. What did you ladies think about that?
I think it comes a time when, you know, your ex should be ex and they should not have full access to you. I love the dynamic, but I think that Marlon has too much access to the home. How can Ashley move on, invite another man there when Marlon at any time could just walk through the door? I mean, he has the key.
Well, with that being said, do you think sometimes, honestly, I really don't think she wants to move on. I think she low key enjoys the back and forth with Marlon. He brings so much excitement to her life. Like, she's so like, you know, straight that it's like, man, she needs some excitement. I think that that's what they provide. Their opposites really, really do attract.
Right.
So, I mean, even though she's putting it out there that she wants boundaries, like, let's be real, I don't think she really wants them.
Oh, makes you just true.
Obviously, because, you know, just to skip to the end, she gives him his key back, you know? So
she knows he couldn't make that shot.
Yeah. I think it's like Marlon's like an umbilical cord. You know what I mean? It's a crazy analogy, but he's like, he thrives in their household, in all of their lives. And I think if she cuts that, because equally Marlon hasn't moved on either. Marlon isn't in a serious or committed relationship either. So I feel like if in her mind, you know, once you do that last snippet, I think she'll lose it forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think she's ready. Obviously, he's not ready.
He's not.
And you know what? It didn't really seem like she wanted to really set those boundaries until she had that conversation with her friends.
Right.
And let's talk about the friends, because like, how is it possible that a once married, now divorcee is getting married advice from two single women?
Happens every day.
Another divorce.
every day.
Another one's divorced, but she,
Oh.
which I found funny because she didn't give all the details about why her marriage, her
She
divorce
did
worked
not.
so well.
Right.
And that's also the details are important, people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The main point is that it's just like basically unhappy people trying to give you advice.
Okay, and that's what you don't. You
Don't take
can't
it.
listen
You
to.
can't listen.
Don't take it.
I hope you all learned a very valuable lesson from this episode is don't listen to negative, unhappy people.
Right.
I mean, look, things aren't perfect between Ashley and Marlon, but they've got a positive relationship.
They got a good thing going.
Exactly. Why bring in any negative?
Right.
I mean, because let's be honest. This lady said, when she said, I have not talked to my ex in 3 years,
Something's wrong with
I was
that.
like, okay, mic drop. What?
You have children together.
You kind of
You
have
left
to.
that out.
Right.
Like,
And to me, I think that that's how unhealthy habits are developed.
Yes.
You know, and when kids see unhealthy relationships like that, those are the type of things that they carry on.
oh, they'll
you know?
perpetuate it in their lives forever, and then
Exactly.
pass it on to their kids. You know. But speaking of which, I have a question. About how well they work.
Okay.
Is there a such thing as a perfect divorce, or since neither of us are married or have ever been married, to my knowledge, is there such thing as a perfect divorce and or breakup?
I actually have one, so I'm good.
I have none.
Well, okay. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I once upon a time, you know, I was married. And it got quiet.
The plot thickens.
Details, lady.
You know, this is not the time or the place for all of that. This is about the Marlon show. But what I will say is that
This was not planned.
This was not
once upon
planned.
a time. It's okay, because you know, I think that we should be able to reveal and share. You know, for any viewers out there that may have gotten married young as well, and it's okay. You know, it's okay. What was your question again? Because I just, you know.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as a perfect
Well, so
divorce / breakup?
Yes.
I think it really just depends on the two individuals, and I think it's a maturity thing. I think it depends on how they both handle it. Me and my ex, we're two very mature people, and I don't like drama. He doesn't like drama. So if you don't have to have any drama, why bring it into the relationship to begin with?
Right.
People can say, you know what? Unfortunately, this didn't work out, and move on with their lives and find something or someone that will give them that happiness that they were lacking within that relationship.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what that's what I believe.
What do you think?
I've had many breakups. I think I have a perfect one. My ex, like this guy, like he's my best friend. When I'm sad, I'll call him. He'll cheer me up. He's kind of like Marlon, but he has a lot more maturity, I'll say, than Marlon. But we have a perfect relationship. Like he's my ride or die. When I need him, I'll call him. If he needs me, he'll know I'll be there.
That's what's up.
I'll listen to him. But then we also, in a sense, have the whole Marlon Ashley maybe get back together thing.
But you guys get along overall.
We get along perfectly.
That's what's up. My opinion of it is, it has nothing to do with maturity or anything like that. It's bigger because it's bigger. It's respect.
Ooh.
The way the relationship ended, okay. In the process of it ending, did you do something that caused me to lose respect for you? And if you did, I don't want to be your friend. I can't respect you as a
Respect
person.
is very important in a relationship.
You know, once I lose the respect with, you know, the person that I've broken up with that's now become my ex, it's not perfect. It's not a good situation. But, you know, we both agreed to do it. I'm cool. We can be cool forever.
So let me ask you ladies this. What do you consider boundaries to be? How do you define boundaries? Because that is what I feel like, you know, both Ashley and Marlon, as well as even Stevie and Yvette, went back and forth with explaining their view on boundaries.
In the sense of relationship?
And in a sense of everything, because I mean, there also were talk of boundaries between Stevie and Marlon. So then there could be boundaries in a friendship, in a relationship. So what is your viewpoint on boundaries?
Mine is privacy, and just respecting my personal space. That's it for me. My personal,
which are two very important things.
My personal space and my privacy. Those are boundaries for me.
But what do you consider to be personal space? Because sometimes when you're in a relationship with somebody, the other person might feel like there are no boundaries. Like your personal space is my personal space.
Good
and if
point.
you can remember, that was one of the things that Ashley felt like Marlon didn't respect, and that's why their relationship didn't last, was because of his, lack of respect for her personal space.
So if I had to give an example, in a relationship where the person does not live with me, we don't live, I would like for you to call me before you come over my house. That's the only example that I can give.
So your ex wouldn't have a key to your house, is what you're saying.
My ex wouldn't have. I don't know if my ex got my current number. You talking about key to my house?
So what you know what, you petty. You are petty.
Queen petty. Queen. But yeah,
You are petty.
that's me.
I don't even know if I can follow that. I mean, boundaries for me, just respect. If we're in separate relationships, I respect yours, you respect mine.
Good.
If something is off, I would tell me. Maybe you catch something that I can't catch, and because you're a guy, you can catch it, and I just can't see it.
Yes.
And if a female's doing something wrong, I will tell you, because I have no issue doing that. And if it doesn't affect me and your relationship, I don't give a crap. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not in your relationship, you're not in mine.
So again, it just depends on the people. So
Totally.
again, I want to extend this question out to all of our viewers right now. If you're tuning in live with us, we want to know what your definition of boundaries are and what type of boundaries you set within your relationship.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment below. And Miss Shannon, she's going to be revealing some of these boundaries a little later in the show.
Yeah.
But before we continue on with episode 8, we have some very exciting contests that Miss Shea Butter is going to tell you about.
Hey guys, so time is running out. To win a signed t-shirt and cast photo or a signed copy of Legends of the Mantamaji by Eric Dean Seaton, you go to iTunes, you leave a 5-star rating and a review, and we'll send it to you next week. We're going to decide next week here on the show.
Yes, next week is the
Excited.
big reveal.
It's the big
Excited.
reveal. And
Who's gonna win?
Who's going to win? Like, I have no idea. Do you know?
No clue.
I don't know.
No
I'm
clue.
looking at this
Who
live
is it?
chat right
Savage
now.
Boy, Renji, Ivan. Is it you?
Guys, you're going
Who
to
is it?
just, it's quick. You go to iTunes. It takes you like maybe two seconds. And you
Show
can
us
win
some
awesome
love.
prizes.
That's it.
Yes, these are really, really dope prizes. Like, this girl has been hustling these signatures. Like, oh my God, you guys have to see like this signed autograph photo that she's been working her butt off to make sure that she gets signed just for you.
Yes.
The only stipulation is, guys, you have to live in the United States and its territories. That's it.
That's
But
it.
it's so simple to win.
Easy to win.
Bam.
And she got a t-shirt.
Yes.
I do.
Signed.
Bam. Bam.
Marlon. I can't. She does it better than me though. But like,
I know, right?
she
I'm
does it
sorry.
better than
That's
me.
like my claim to fame.
Listen,
I love that.
I don't even know how y'all could say that without stuttering.
I did. That's why I stopped. Like, she could do it.
Money.
You know, if y'all need, some voiceover for the next season, y'all want to do a little remix of that?
She got you.
Holla at your girl.
She got you. So back to these keys. Have you guys ever given a key an ex a key?
While
I
we were
mean,
in a
I
relationship?
No, an ex
I
a
would
key.
if he was, because he's in the armed forces. But if he was around, yeah, because I might lose my key. Dude, come let me in my house.
I bet you do want him to let you in your house.
Flips hair.
Miss Shea Butter. They don't call her Shea Butter for nothing.
I'm quiet at this point, guys. You see this?
You know what? With that being said, let's go to the chat. Shannon, what are our viewers saying to us right now?
Renji says that he just asked that his personal space is respected. That's all he asks, and I think many other people agree with that. Those two main points, privacy and personal space. It seems to be common in here in the chat. A couple people say no. It's a Savage Boy. Get iTunes.
You know
She
what?
great at
You don't have what you had an
know what,
Android?
bruh? Why don't you have an
Oh
Android?
man, a lot of people don't. So yeah, Luop, be creative. Use your homie's account. You can do that. Just rate us.
Yes.
5 stars, and tell your homie though, like the gift
Or
is yours.
tweet
if
at
you
us and
win.
let us know you don't have it and you want to be a part of the contest. Like, that works too. Like, that way, so we know you want to be involved and you want to win.
Yes.
Luop like me, he like, hell nah, I'd never give an ex my key.
Bruh, you an ex for a reason.
We here.
Okay?
We here.
You hear me? Like, if you got a key, then maybe you shouldn't be an ex. Like, we really need to have other conversations about other things. Like, what's
Yes.
going on?
Negative.
But that's exactly why I still feel like there's a chance that they're gonna get back together.
But we gotta tune in to the finale next week to find out.
Absolutely.
I think I'm the only one who isn't on that like train yet. Like
What?
I'm like, seriously, I feel like because you guys have just been on it, like, and just like, I can see why you're saying it. I really can, but I'm just like,
tell me why
I'm not
you don't
feeling
want
it.
them to
Give
get
us-
together.
tell us
Yeah,
why.
I might respect it. Come on, why don't you want them to get
What's
back?
up?
It's not that I don't want them to get back together. I'm like, but I feel like after 16 years, you broke up, you divorced for a reason. And like now you have this very comfortable, perfect, quote unquote, divorce. And it's very healthy. Let's be on that. It's a healthy divorce relationship. And obviously, maybe you might join the 38% club and you can do that. But
The reason is that the reason I still have hope is because why have they not moved on? Yes,
I
the
mean, it
divorce
takes
was
time.
for a reason.
Nobody just instantly go out and, I mean, I don't know. Maybe just me. I don't just go out and date after a breakup like that quickly or
I'm
whatever.
sorry, but they just, I don't know. Like,
That's just the chemistry and all.
it's just
it's still there.
what? So much chemistry. Like for them to be so much so different, they still have so much in common.
Yeah.
They feed off each other's strengths and weaknesses. You know, which in my sense, I think is just like the perfect balance. And I feel like they both need each other because I can't imagine Ashley with a Boris Kojo. You know what I'm saying? Like
but
she needs some
though.
Ashley.
Boris
I mean,
Kojo.
he's fine.
Wait a second, though, like.
In relation, okay, ladies, let's
Ashley
focus.
probably watching like, yeah, I can
focus.
see that.
Let's focus. I was saying that to say in reference to his personality qualities, maybe he's just not as exciting as, you know, Marlon. Maybe she might need that balance. You know,
Yeah.
she might need that extra excitement. You know what? Let
She
me
would
just
miss
forget I
him.
even just said Boris Kojo. Let me just think of somebody else that's a little, you know, not as fine and a
who
little
you gonna
boring.
pick then?
But yes, ladies, amazing episode tonight. Shannon, what are our viewers saying right now in the live chat?
I've been actually writing him back, and he's saying, yeah, it's true, they haven't moved on. He also says Yvette hates Marlon. Why would she agree with the divorced mom about never, you know, with the whole Marlon situation at the basketball game? But yeah, I mean, they're agreeing. There's chemistry. They haven't moved on.
Okay.
It's all obvious.
It's
and,
all
and we
obvious,
need them
yes.
back
We
together.
need them back. Now, what do you guys foresee with Yvette's character? Because she just keeps us laughing every single week. She is a riot, always keeping us at the edge of her seats. What do you foresee anything happening between her and Stevie?
I like
Or
what
would
you're
that
saying.
just be awkward?
I like what you said about the whole drunken one night hookup.
Yeah,
That
I
I would
said
love
that.
to see that.
Yeah, I said that on the live chat.
After.
I don't want to see Yvette and Stevie in a relationship. That's awkward and uncomfortable. I do want to see them, however, get drunk and have fun one night.
Ooh.
And I want to see
That's
the
what I want.
She
aftermath.
wake up like, what the hell did I just do?
Right.
You took advantage of me.
You tell no one about this. No one.
Yeah.
Scooby Doo. Rose.
Yoinks.
What's the names?
Yoinks.
Yoinks, yoinks, yoinks.
Jinkies.
Yoinks. Oh my gosh, guys, absolutely hilarious. Now next week, let's talk about predictions because unfortunately we do have to wrap up tonight's show, but predictions, guys. What predictions do you have for the
Now,
finale?
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Can we need to come up with a
scared.
remix. We need a Marlon Show remix.
Just got scared.
Pretty spooky.
Predictions. Go ahead, Shay. Give it to us.
I told you I can't.
Without fake a prediction. Okay.
Oh, okay,
We know you know
Fake
what's
a
gonna
prediction.
happen.
Improv, a prediction.
Jesus.
Okay, here's a fake prediction. Yvette and Marlon will hook up.
Okay, you know what? Listen.
Too fake. I said fake,
Shay's
not.
getting kicked off the show. Shay, you are fired.
We know that.
You said fake.
had one job, Shay, and that was to give our viewers a prediction, and you couldn't do it. You
Okay,
couldn't do it.
I predict-
Well, I'll
No,
predict for an inappropriate
no, you only had
Marlon.
one shot.
Damn.
That's it. You
I
missed
predict that
That's right.
Marlon and Ashley are gonna join the 38% club next week. That's
Next, so you think it's gonna happen next week?
yeah.
You don't think that would be too obvious?
I mean, it's a prediction, right? I mean, good lord.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm a little strict with these predictions.
Alrighty.
All right, so my prediction, you know what? I don't really have any predictions. In reference to those two, You know what? I don't have any predictions. I really
All right.
don't. I think
That's fair.
everybody wants. I want them to get together. I think it's gonna happen. I just don't think it's gonna happen this season.
No, that's fair.
I don't think it's gonna happen this season.
Well, you want to get into these libraries?
Yes, yes. You know, we always have exciting news to share with you on behalf of AfterBuzz, and like every single week, we thank you for your continuous support. And we have some exciting news about the AfterBuzz TV programming. Whether you're a new listener or a longtime AfterBuzz fan, you know that we're the world's. Listen, we are the world's #1 destination for TV coverage. Well, starting next month, we'll be expanding our content beyond just after shows to bring you a whole slate of new content, formats, and guests.
Our after shows aren't going anywhere. They're just simply evolving. Most of the shows you love only air part of the year, but during the rest of the year, these shows have news constantly breaking that you want to talk about. So as the ESPN of TV talk, we know it's our job to cover it. We'll have in-depth show coverage for comedy, drama, animated, truly anything you can imagine. Nothing is off limits. And given our no limits approach to TV coverage, we realize that sometimes it can be hard to find shows you love. We listen. We're reconstructing the website, shows, and our platforms to make it easier for you to find what you're looking for.
Our YouTube channel will be divided into 9 genres: dramas, comedies, reality competition, wrestling and sports, animation, sci-fi, fantasy, superheroes, red carpets, and lastly, our own featured and original content. There's a lot to be excited about, but it won't happen overnight. As we develop, we'll be experimenting to cater to your TV desires, which means your participation and feedback will be essential to deliver these custom shows. To keep up to date with everything, be sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter launching in September and check out our show AfterBuzz Weekly with Megan Stecker.
Yes, please check that out. Amazing show. You don't want to miss it. But again, like every single week, we thank you guys for taking the time to tune in to us and to share our amazing predictions and thoughts on the Marlon Show. We're going to keep you coming back every single week, so continue to tune in and support. Like always, I am your host, Miss Candy Marie, and you can find me on Instagram at Miss Candy Marie and on Twitter at Sweet Kendora TV.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and Love Chae Butter on Snapchat.
Yo, Shannon Clark. Find me on all things social media at I am Shannon Clark.
Yes, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And tune in next week for the finale. You don't want to miss it.
Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
want a response. Like I don't. Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
The Suits theme. It's called the Greenback Boogie.
But yeah, it's very frustrating. 'Cause there's so many movies that I I purposely didn't see. So it's like, I'm just gonna go on a thing, a binge, and now it's like, dude, I should.
Well, allegedly, if you send them a ticket stub, they'll refund your credit card that amount.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's what they do if anything goes wrong. So a friend of mine saw the Goofy movie over the weekend, and they posted a picture of their ticket stub, which I then sent MoviePass.
Yeah, nice.
In hopes that they'll give me $14 for a $9.95
Nice.
subscription. Then we'll be square.
What did they see?
They saw the Goofy movie. The Goofy movie's at the El Capitan. I don't know for how much longer.
Oh my God.
I know. You can
That's
meet,
awesome.
You,
It's the best movie ever.
the open part. Sorry. The very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Just the very beginning there. And we do shouldery things and then stuff. We do shouldery things.
I'm doing
It's
a
a
little,
shoulder.
like, advanced version.
Ooh, nice.
Steve Kaufman's going to speak some words into the microphone. And they're going to sound like this.
Yeah, then I'm gonna say some words, probably incoherently, but hopefully you catch them.
Well, incoherently now.
Yeah, incoherently now.
I'm just going to keep the conversation going by saying that I'm going to speak words in No, mine are coherent, I think.
I think all the... Yeah, that's a matter of perspective.
It is later, after all. Sorry if I keep you.
Fueled by age for Movie Pass.
Oh, man.
Dude, it's disappointing every day. I check my
hate it.
mailbox knowing it's not gonna be there.
I hated them when they...
it's
I
not.
hated them when I was paying $35 a month.
Yeah, and see,
Because
that's
they're just not a good company.
when I heard about them back then when it was, and
You
I
gotta
was
be
like,
committed.
dude, you have to like
You gotta be seeing
That's a
two
lot.
movies. You gotta be
at
seeing a movie a
least-
week
at
for
least,
$35 a month.
at
Yeah.
least.
I worked close to an AMC, so you can
Yeah.
stack your AMC stubs rewards on top of. So I would buy movie tickets. I would buy movie tickets and then not go,
Yeah,
which is gonna be my plan. It's definitely gonna be my plan now. That's $9.95 a month.
yeah,
They just stack stubs rewards.
that's a good call. Yeah, because you
There are
can
a lot
get
of hacks. Yeah.
and they'll give you money through in stubs that
Yeah.
you can spend at.
Well, also,
It sucks that
I'm
I missed
learning
it.
so
Like I
much.
went.
also
What?
the way the tech works is all they're doing is they're authorizing an amount on a MasterCard.
Yeah,
So they have no way of actually knowing whether you're putting the 13 they're giving you toward a $22 IMAX film that you're paying the rest off with your stubs credits that you were stacking on their dime to begin with.
yeah. Oh, interesting.
I was a MoviePass Pro.
I was like, that sounds
Nice.
like
So
a
you
lot.
can do that. Okay.
Yes, we're ready.
So wait, did you get a new card then?
Yeah, I quit when they went up to 50.
Okay.
They went from 30 to 50 and I quit.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, 50's way too much.
50
It's like two movies a
Hardly
week.
justify it
Yeah.
at 30.
Exactly. And it was like different prices for different cities. So I was like, dude, this is ridiculous.
I had a friend who applied in one city that had a $30 offer but lived in LA.
Yeah, that's smart. It just because the credit card you pay with has to be in that from that zip code.
Not necessarily.
Really?
The address does.
Well, because I
Possibly.
tried to do that. It was a little
Where-
bit cheaper
nice
in
tips.
San Francisco at the time. And so I tried to put like my mom's address, and then it was like
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
I
had
guess-
to be the credit card.
Oh. I did not know that. I guess that's interesting.
Which is
couldn't
fine.
buy
I
it
mean,
as
if
a-
you
Could they-
have
yeah,
a credit card,
they're-
if a
they're
family
$9.95 a
card,
month
then
now.
yeah.
You couldn't buy it as a gift or something?
No.
Oh.
They were. People are talking about how they're going to be the next Netflix. People are forgetting that Netflix sounded crazy at the
Yeah.
time. So just like they do, but Netflix was a better product, and the product that is the app that puts money on a MasterCard that you can then use to buy a movie ticket, like that is the product is pretty good, but the infrastructure, the customer service infrastructure that's needed to actually do that, I don't think they have it. I
Yeah.
don't think they ever had it, and I think they're gonna fail miserably.
And
But
yeah, and that
I will buy a movie ticket a day until they do.
totally. But that almost happened to Netflix too.
All right. This isn't the Movie Pass podcast?
Yeah, weird.
I thought
that was a Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah,
Oh, it definitely was.
well. Hello, Suits fans. We are here to talk about Suits. It's the 101st episode. It's here, it's loud, it's live, it's next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Okay.
Shoulders. Yeah.
I love how everyone
You
has
getting a
their
little fancy
own.
tonight, JB?
Oh yeah. Well, you spurred me on. You said you were stepping it up. How could I not?
Then you gotta kind of lead with the ranks.
Everybody's
kinda,
getting
yeah.
fancy tonight. I love it.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AfterBuzz TV After Show for Suits. I'm your host, Steve Kaufman. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufman. That is Kaufmann. This is season 7, episode 9. By the way, I have it on and at the board, and I almost Ron Burgundy'd it.
Ooh,
We're not
nice.
alone.
Close
To my
call.
immediate
Close
left,
call.
Mr. JB Zimmerman.
Yes, you guys can find me everywhere at Hey John Blake.
Hey guys, I'm back again. It's Erica Shannon, and you can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby.
So we talked a lot last week about the 100th episode being last week. It felt like a season finale.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this week did a really good job of setting up some pins to be knocked down in one episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
But like still having stakes, and like some stuff is obviously going to carry over, and like they had an unenviable job in this episode, which was to restart, but don't really restart because we're
Right.
gone next week.
And to their credit, I think they did a phenomenal job. I mean, even though there was a lot more procedural elements going on, I thought this was like one of the most satisfying versions of that. I mean, we got such a good like pairing of everybody kind of coupled up in a way, and it was across the board. There's a lot of satisfying moments, a lot of group effort. It was weird not seeing Alex, but everybody else was just on their game.
I mean, we can't have Alex forever, I guess.
True. He's
But-
got to do double time flying back to Miami.
Then what I don't understand then why he was brought in. I mean, I understand why he was brought in because he was a name and it was somebody to draw potentially, but I don't understand why he was. I had a feeling that he wasn't going to become like a regular, and so it's like, why would you? I mean, it's a role, but it didn't make sense.
Similar to Jessica's a bad example because there are people in that world that it's acceptable that we don't see every
Right.
week.
Oh yeah.
And I think especially when you get someone like Dule Hill, like it's kind of accepted where it's
Yeah.
like you're not
Right.
gonna see Dule Hill every week.
Yeah.
And
Like,
that's what I think.
And since Jessica left, like we're not gonna see Jessica every week, and I'm okay with it. And I think we get plenty of Alex when we get him.
Yeah, and
I
I
do
think
like that.
we agreed last week that he would kind of take the Katrina aspect, where he
Right.
might pop in when necessary.
Yeah.
But I don't know what case they'll have going forward that they'll need to pull him in on.
Possibly. That's a good point.
Right. Well, yeah, it just kind of depends on which character he works well with, because I think he's he's much more specific in what kind of episode he can be in, because he works well with Harvey, for instance. You know, now we had Harvey very much so paired up with Mike, and then there's the Donna connection. That's kind of all bonding them together, so they can't really steer him away from that. You know, like Lewis has had this thing with Brian, so he's kind of the natural pairing for him. That kind of takes him off the table for working with Alex. So there's really no other person, and we were talking about characters that kind of pop up more here and there. Robert Zane, we got a huge amount of him this episode. So.
The season.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
definitely.
the last two, I guess this 2 episodes stand. I think, and this is a little inside baseball, but I think if you're hiring an American actor who doesn't live natively on that show and isn't a regular on that show, you can kind of predict when they are and aren't going to be on the show. So if you had Robert Zane last week, we're more likely to get him this week, because if they're shooting the episodes sequentially, we're going to fly that. We're going to fly Wendell Pierce out for this block of time for 2 whole episodes.
Yeah.
So by not seeing Alex this week, it might be presumed we don't see him next week, and we're not going to see him until the winter episodes start.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Could be.
Doesn't always happen. It's TV.
True.
let's jump into the Donna, Rachel, Mark of it all. We ended last week that Rachel's text is what stopped Donna from going through with this date with Mark, that if she's anything like Lewis, she would have regretted.
Right.
Holistically, just hated it, regretted it. We're building up to next week, but this week felt like a holding pattern.
Yeah, I mean, it's all because of like the Donna Harvey thing, which I hate, and I feel like I was literally driving to the studio thinking about like why I have such a problem with them being in a romantic relationship.
With Donna and Harvey?
Yeah, Donna
Okay.
and Harvey being together again, which is like obviously a big fan favorite theory that I just like do not buy into. Unpopular opinion, but I was trying to figure out why, and I guess the only thing I can come up with is that if they do end up together, it's got to be at the end of the show because I can't like the relationship Donna and Harvey kills the like working Donna and Harvey for me. I don't know. Like maybe like some people can make it work. I have such a hard time seeing both
Donna
at the
and
same
Harvey
time.
in a relationship is either something so cosmically different that we can't even fathom what it would look like,
Right.
or it's the exact same thing it's always been, but they just go to the same bed.
Where they kiss.
Yeah, like but like where they kiss once they're down in the car. Like
I guess, but that's like the
It's
least
one or the
fun
other.
marriage ever. Because I mean, like they.
But what are you using that to? What are you using as?
Well,
a
no, I mean,
example?
like I like both of the characters, and the new bad guy Andy kind of took a dig at Donna, like, oh, you're at the same place you've always been, like serving the Harvey, like doing his, beck and call, and I think for them to be like a successful relationship or like marriage, they should be a little bit more equal and a little less like boss employee.
she would be
And not to say that she doesn't hold her own, because she
but,
tells
like,
them to
and
like
I think
sit down.
over years, her being COO would be a much clearer transition.
Right.
That's a really difficult transition for 1 month you're Harvey's assistant and have been for decades.
Right.
And then the next month you're COO of the same company that's not very big. Well,
Right.
depending
Yeah.
depending on which reality we're taking of today's episode, how many people actually work in that office
There were a
and
lot.
can scream shame at Lewis.
There were
Yeah.
a lot today.
Like
That is the best. That's probably my favorite pop culture thing that they do. And in this episode, they
Yeah.
definitely even referenced like Game of Thrones like by name because it was such a good homage.
although
But
speaking, we are going to come to the Lewis Bryan
Okay,
and the,
nice.
like
and
the
fully
Lewis
talk
Bryan
about it,
Sarah all the
totally.
stuff. But bringing up Lewis, the Lewis Donna like showdown next week, essentially like the pre-deposition.
Yeah, the mock trial.
The mock trial, the pre-deposition, like I'm excited for this. That it's because the last time Lewis did this, like it was some of the best TV where you're just like, oh,
Right.
Yeah.
oh,
How deep is he gonna go? Like how much is he gonna dig into?
Yeah.
Donna?
It's gonna be crazy because he's done it before too. So him having to do it again, like with new tricks, I guess. Also, right after having that session with Dr. Lipschitz, being like, we have to give you mechanisms to like keep your lashes to a minimum. Like, yeah, I mean, better late than never. But we'll see how he kind of walks that line.
I'm interested if he's gonna be a savage, like early Suits season, like season 1 through like 3. Lewis is just so incredibly savage
Yeah.
that like I feel like he's grown as a person. That he's still gonna be the savage lawyer, but not. I don't know.
Like he's gonna hold himself back, or he's gonna feel himself going there and then stop himself.
No.
You think once he starts going, you think he's just gonna keep going?
Or he's gonna try to find a way to not go there and still get the job done. But I don't know. It seems to me like he's gonna uncover some stuff that Donna's then gonna have to deal with. Because she mentioned it to Rachel in this episode where she was like, I feel bad that I put Harvey over myself.
Right. Well, I think he's probably gonna find out that Donna and Harvey did actually have like a one night thing,
Yeah.
Like way back when, and then when he threatens to bring that up in front of the whole company, I think her standing as COO is definitely going to be looked at differently, and I don't know. Yeah, that calls it into question like her own, because she's had doubts this season of again going from assistant to COO, kind of a big jump, especially not being a lawyer. Granted she does kick ass at the job, but she definitely slept with the boss too. So, these are things that a lot of people would kind of make faces at.
Yeah, because then it would call into question like how she got the job.
Right, exactly, and like if she did it once, like who's to
it would
say like
question
how?
her character.
Yeah, exactly.
You slept with Harvey that one time over 10 years ago,
And he paid you back.
and became COO.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Became COO at a random time.
Yeah.
I mean, if people have a problem with her having the job to begin with, they would use anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
To try to get her out of it.
And that's just haters gonna hate. Speaking of haters gonna hate, Andrew's a bit of a hater here.
Oh boy.
And, yeah.
First off, love this guy.
Jeez,
And
yeah.
I love the way Mike prefaced this in the opening, but then really throughout the episode we got into this doesn't play into Mike's altruism at all. Because just because these Wall Street corporate types are terrible and sleazy people, they're terrible and sleazy people mainly to each other because that's where the money is.
Right.
And that's the kind of stuff Mike's completely okay with doing corporate law.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
You're a broker going after another broker. You're both millionaires. Whatever. Harvey and the firm needs a win. Andrew has a lot of them and needs to get knocked down a peg. Harvey, of course, doesn't remember he worked with Andrew.
Yeah. For 3 years. Classic Harvey.
I mean, and
being
you're,
like,
what,
who
he
are
said
you?
3 offices down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
So
a
you
couple doors
probably
down.
passed him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Donna remembers you, and you remember Donna.
Yeah, it can't be that big of an office. It's not like a money-making firm, or it's
Well, it's
supposed
DA's
to. Yeah,
office, yeah,
exactly.
or
It's a public servant's office. So it's
But then again, if Harvey's spending most of his time with Cameron Dennis, he wouldn't have time to.
right.
knock
I mean,
on it
yeah, not. I
forcefully
mean,
to
not
walk
knowing
us down.
the guy's middle name, perhaps, but not
Or at least-
recognizing the dude
That's
that
what-
he saw for 3 years.
I'm bringing my own perception into that, but I'm terrible with names, but great with faces.
Yeah.
So there could be a possibility where Harvey sees him at that gym and goes, Andrew.
Yeah, just
was curious what you were up to.
yeah.
You're still there? You're still public sector? Really? Okay.
To me, it made sense that he didn't remember him. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just something, even if the DA's office is kind of small, I still believe that Harvey's just kind of tunnel vision.
Yeah, and the DA's office was a stepping stone for him.
Yeah.
That it makes enough sense where it's he only cared about 2 people at that office anyway. Of course he's not going to remember anybody else.
Yeah.
But Andrew has an axe to grind.
Yeah,
he's
not a fan. He's
and
not a
he
Harvey fan.
personal.
And that flashback was very good at saying very good at showing us he sees the writing on the wall. That, this is a stepping
Right.
stone for Harvey. I'm going to be at this office the rest of my life because I want to put bad people away.
Yeah.
Good for you, I guess.
But see, and that's the thing. Even though he said that, and he was coming at it where he's a type of person that wants to be basically the Mike, I guess, very altruistic type of person. That was his justification for being in that job. Clearly, he doesn't, because right now he's completely letting his own ego get in the way, and this case is very much not clear cut, putting a bad person away.
Definitely.
At least at the stage that we've seen it right now.
And that's what he picked it for. It was, you're gonna beat this lawyer, because this lawyer is just not on your level, and you're gonna wipe the floor with him. Natty's niche in the chat. I feel like Mike should have done his due diligence on Andrew before suggesting Harvey take the case.
I agree.
guess,
I was
yeah.
watching it and I was like, good job, Mike, giving Harvey this case.
Yeah, but I mean, again, if Harvey hadn't even didn't even remember the dude, it'd be hard to even figure that out. How do you proffer?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
The due diligence would be looking beyond the past 15 wins that were in the journal, because they're talking about the journal. It was he has 15 wins in the journal. He has 15 wins. It's reported in the journal. He's cleaning up Wall Street. Let's take this guy down a peg. And they've painted a good enough character here where he's not altruistic like Mike is either, where he's just as self-serving as Harvey,
Oh, yeah.
but lying about it.
Yeah.
Because at least Harvey at a certain point was like, well, no, I'm going to go do corporate law because I want to win and make a bunch of money. Whereas Andrew wants to win and then still get to say, like, I'm cleaning up the world and being altruistic, like, which isn't true.
Right.
That's not true justice. That's not. He's doing it because he wants recognition for doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas Harvey, at least at a certain point, understood, yeah, I'm doing it because I want to do it. So I'm less interested in helping the little guy.
Right.
And then
And that-
I'd
and
rather
that-
feel guilty about that than lie to myself my whole life.
And that was evident when Andrew was deposing. I don't know if we got,
We didn't catch
the
that woman's
client's
Yeah,
name.
we didn't catch the client's
but
name.
he was like, I don't care
Yeah,
if you're guilty.
I don't
or
care
not.
if you're
Like,
guilty or not.
You're going to jail.
I think
Right.
you and I both were pointing at the screen at that moment.
Yeah, no, I was like, I don't like this dude at all. I actually wrote that down. I was like, this guy's.
Because normally in
No?
corporate law, like, you can say something like that. If it were Robert Zane detaining someone
Yeah.
against Harvey, that wouldn't be admissible. Because it's whatever, it's civil.
Yeah.
It's a civil lawsuit.
Right.
It's a civil lawsuit. Attorneys say what they say. When you're the district attorney,
Yeah.
you can't just say, I don't care if you're innocent or guilty. I'm gonna take you down either way.
Yeah.
What?
The attorney
Yeah.
general can't. That's not
are-
something that.
What?
Yeah.
And then
Wait.
that's when his personal got involved. That's when his ego got involved because he didn't.
'Cause he
even-
doesn't
he
care.
wasn't. He wasn't
Exactly.
prosecutor at that point. He was Andy facing off against Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
He was just trying to prove something.
which this is us defending him because we've been following him for 101 episodes, but Harvey's at least honest about.
Right. Who
Yeah,
he is.
I'm here to win.
Totally.
I'm here to win, so I'm picking cases where the rate is high, but the stakes are only as high as the rate.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes Andy such a good villain or person to hate.
Definitely.
Because that, like, being so flip-floppy with your morals, like, even someone like Cameron Dennis, he's not the greatest guy, but it's hard to, at least he's, like, authentic in what he does bad. Like, he will do anything to win a case, including, like, anything illegal. Like, he's bound about that, but, like, he's at least got a code. It's like Dexter, like, you can take a little less blame when they're, like, at least honest about who they are. Andy is, someone who doesn't do that. It's where it's just like, it's just about winning and it doesn't matter. Like, he's got no code. So it seems.
There's actually a lot
And
of
it's
talk
just
in the
about-
chat. There's a lot of talk in the chat based on the Mike should have done his due diligence.
Really?
Where there's a lot of talk of like, man, Mike keeps throwing Harvey
Interesting.
really dumb cases. Like Mike isn't being very helpful right here.
And
I think it'll ultimately be helpful.
What did Mike end up saying? Where he said something to the effect of, "If I had known your history with Andy, I wouldn't have brought this
That's
case
exactly
to you."
what he said.
And then Harvey said in response, like, "If I had known about my history with Andy,
I would have picked this
Right.
fight myself.
yeah, it wouldn't have even gotten this far."
But I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think there's a bit of a stretch where he must have only read that article in the Wall Street Journal and didn't. But even then, it was the same office. It was like he never jumped offices. Andrew did. So it's. I'm gonna stop thinking about it because it was like
Yeah.
this made
It's gonna
sense to
make-
me in the show,
It's gonna make less sense the more
and
we
it
talk about
was, and the fact that Mike Ross, also a superpowered lawyer, might only read the Wall Street Journal report and go, "Let's take down this guy." And if Harvey had beef with him, he'd remember.
It would be.
Right.
It would have been nice maybe to see how Mike came to the decision, to maybe explain it a little bit more.
But I think we're supposed to take that scene at face value that he read the Wall Street Journal like everyone
that's
does.
it.
He read because anyone in business, finance, obviously high-powered lawyers in New York, that the Journal is your Bible. It's your daily Bible, and you read the Wall Street Journal. So if he saw someone on the cover of the Wall Street Journal who is cleaning up Wall Street and he's this hotshot prosecutor, hey, why doesn't Pierce Inspector Litt take down this guy? So we're in this thing that I'm reading that everybody else reads. And maybe that was all that had to have been all the reasoning, or he would have known.
Right. Well, plus Harvey's got a lot of enemies too. So like, I don't think it's like priority one to make sure for like on Mike's checklist to be like, is this guy all like, does he have a good rapport with Harvey? I mean, he knows that he's on shaky ground with a lot of people, and that's kind of how he likes it. honestly. Like he doesn't go looking for people that hate him, obviously, but he's very used to swimming in those like shark-infested waters.
Yeah, and he didn't know him.
Right.
Like,
And
if
like
some-
he didn't even remember him. I think it was all in Andy's mind. I mean, obviously he was really trying to grind, and it.
Well, and they
that flashback
compared him
shit,
to Lewis Litt a lot. They
Yeah.
compared him to Lewis Litt a lot in the sense that some
Absolutely.
people just have Harvey problems.
Yeah.
Some people see Harvey, and by Harvey I mean like there are people that are right around your age and roughly your skill set who are doing in your mind way better than you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you project all of your excuses that could have been you onto that person.
Absolutely.
It's Harvey Lewis, it's Andrew Harvey. It happens to Harvey a lot because Harvey's one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens to Mike a lot. We just haven't noticed. And he's so nice. He runs a charity and like, when are him and Rachel gonna get it all
Yeah.
together? All those two.
Speaking of Mike, I thought it was pretty interesting that he basically admitted he thought the client was guilty,
Yeah,
which was interesting. I don't know.
it's shocking
and it's
we've
like
gone.
7 seasons, but I don't know if Mike's ever taken on somebody that he knows.
I'm
isn't
sure
on
in
the
the
up and
history of
up.
the show he has, but it's shocking how rare it's been in this show. Like, it's a true testament to this show that like we're noticing this as that feels really rare for Mike to just openly defend someone who's 100% guilty.
Yeah.
Because he's usually
Right.
not in this position, or if he is, it ends quickly. Like this is one of the few times where he's like, no, he's guilty. He's guilty. I don't care.
Well,
I don't care. We came
think
here for a win. Not to...
Yeah, I mean, it was different. Like after coming off of a case that like was literally about people in prison getting killed or getting their lives like ruined. This is like the other end of the spectrum where it's like not. It's still bad. It's still
Yeah.
crime, but it's like a very white collar thing that they're doing. It's like more logistical and for profits, pretty much. It seems more like just like a little bit like not above board business.
Yeah.
So you thought it would have been
Well, no, I mean obviously like I just think it's not a complete character flip for Mike to be
No.
okay with doing this. Like he is a lawyer. He does have to defend people to the best of his abilities or like to the extent of the law.
And I
guess.
think the majority of corporate law that Mike would be practicing just would be mind-numbingly boring. It would be mind-numbingly boring, similar to how most of us don't. And the show, I think, did a good job of kind of glossing over exactly what happened. It seemed like the CEO woman
Yeah, it was
wanted
wanted
to sell something quickly before the quarter or the year is done, so she can get a bigger bonus.
Yeah,
Right.
That's basically what
Which
it was.
I didn't realize was a crime. First off,
Yeah.
like I guess you could argue by doing that you're skirting your fiduciary responsibility to the company making the most money
Right.
to making the most money for the company that quarter or that year, so your bonus could be bigger.
Right.
But how do you prove that? That's intent. Especially if you don't have a memo.
Right, and that was what
He's
was
fishing.
trying to.
Like
Yeah.
when I
he
think about
was.
this case, Andrew is fishing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if the research Mike did do was that 10 of the other 15 cases Andrew was literally just fishing.
Yeah.
Was that he knew he could get somebody on the stand and corroborate, and just because these things are so muddled and public opinion toward people who make millions of dollars in a quarter will not be very high.
Right.
And if he could prove that they broke a law, regardless of how minor the law, a jury will convict it.
Now I'm wondering if that memo or even the threat of a memo would have come out if Harvey hadn't gotten involved, because then there wouldn't have been the opportunity for Andy to say, well, this lawyer
No,
gets
he's
rid of
playing that.
evidence and stuff like that. Would he just have gone against the client's original attorney kind of just straight on?
We have to assume the original attorney wasn't as good as Harvey, so that Andrew would have already been the better attorney. So he would have already found up a way to make her slip up in deposition, or make that attorney slip up in discovery, or like. If I'm thinking about it, it would be similar to poker, where in poker you're playing your cards, position, or the player, and then you have to order them in whatever way every play you make. Whereas Andrew's playing the player with Harvey because he can't beat him on the cards at the position. so he has to play the player. Whereas if it were a lesser attorney, he'd probably be more willing to play the cards of the position.
That makes sense.
And to those who don't play poker,
I was gonna say.
sorry,
I understood that a little bit.
position is where you are at the table. The cards are your physical cards, and then the player is the person holding them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know about poker to know that you're playing one of those three things first.
Right. And that's why it was pretty cool to watch, you know, again, Mike and Harvey really at it, like, full blast. It's been a while since we've seen them team up and really, like, go against someone else and kind of be on the offensive. And that's why I think I was more satisfied with this episode. Is like, finally, they're not, like, playing catch up, or they're not, like, covering for some mistake that they made.
Which they've been, like, they've been behind the 8 ball seemingly
all the
since
time.
Mike.
All the
Seemingly,
time.
like, I don't think there's been an episode where they weren't behind the 8 ball since Mike went to prison.
Right.
Like, since Mike went to prison and the
And even
firm essentially
before
fell
that,
apart.
like, when he was on the road to doing that, they were playing defense. Like,
yeah, they've been playing defense for a really long time. That, like, it's about time we had an offensive episode.
Yeah.
And, like, this episode, next episode, this is very much a win for the Wall Street Journal, a win for the Gram, if you will.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What us kids would call.
Yeah.
You're just doing it for the Gram.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just take down the hotshot prosecutor for the Gram.
Yeah.
I think we just about covered that case because that case is
Nice, yeah.
ongoing and it'll come up. It'll come up next week. Let's get into the Lewis of it all, which we really want to talk about.
Ooh, yes.
So
Lewis and Mufasa Bryan.
the episode starts with him walking through the office and the entire office screaming shame at him, a la Game of Thrones. And then we jump into reality without any clear visual marker.
Yeah.
Right.
Which they've established this visually with Lewis in this season, but they haven't done it as sudden. Like, there's always been a visual marker to, like, and now we're back.
Yeah.
And then, like, when he started talking to Brian about the nipple stuff, I honestly thought, like, so is this a dream?
Yeah, just what?
Like, you had to call into question everything that Lewis was
Like,
doing in this
immediately,
episode.
like, because at a certain point, like, they're talking about Dr. Lipschitz, and then we cut away to Harvey, so we're like, okay, so I guess we're back. Like, I guess that was just a lapse in conscience.
Right.
And now we're back, but, like, there's still no visual marker, and I'm not complaining. I love it.
Yeah.
I love when they, like, leave that at, like, when they leave it in there for you where it's like, well, that had to not exist for anyone but us.
Yeah.
Lewis and us, whereas that probably existed, or there's probably a variation. My
Of
question
both,
for
yeah.
everyone, do we think the guy who sold the crappy nipples,
Yeah, do
we think he's actually Sheila's husband?
I do not. I think that part of the phone call didn't happen. Was in Lewis's head.
The phone call happened, and he said.
Oh, the phone call definitely
The phone call
happened.
happened. He said
And
you used the word inferior.
Definitely, and which leads up to the whole, like, countersuit thing, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's all there.
I think that's all there. I don't think if that is true, I don't think he revealed that in that call. I'm not ruling out the fact that that's still the guy.
I mean, it could be. I just don't think so. I think, or to me, it was like
Because if it's Lewis's subconscious, he knows who the guy is.
Right.
Let's not kid ourselves. He would have hired a private investigator if he had to. He would have found out who that husband was.
In like a day? Isn't that the time?
But see, that's my point.
Since he actually did it, he saw her like a week or a couple days before, and then he actually he saw her at Columbia a couple days before, and then there was a whole weekend where she actually invited him over.
Yeah,
and Facebook. He doesn't need to hire a private investigator. He can find out who it is real fast.
I just feel like if he was that guy, if he was like the husband, there would be a bigger fallout. Like, the marriage would be off, or like Sheila would come bursting in. Like, we did like.
I'm not saying he knows.
Okay.
I'm not saying Lewis. I'm saying
you're
Lewis,
not saying that he said those things, but you're saying he could be those.
I'm saying they're
that
leaving
person.
the door
Okay,
open for him to still be the husband.
Okay,
because Lewis is
like an unknowing.
and maybe
husband,
even Lewis didn't know, but his subconscious showed us that because his subconscious
Gotcha.
deep down inside somehow knows.
Interesting theory.
That feels like something you don't just leave on the table.
I think that conversation actually happened because of the
Really?
specificity
Ooh.
of it. He said, I'm her fiance. Whatever he said something very specific. He didn't say something like, you're the type of man that will sleep with an engaged woman. He didn't leave it general. He said, I'm Sheila's fiance or something like that. So the fact that he was specific about it, I think that's what lent itself to be more real to me.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it could be.
Because it wasn't, when he walked in the office, the receptionist said homewrecker.
Right.
She didn't say, you just had a weekend fling with Sheila. Like she didn't make it specific. So
Right.
I think taking it that extra step in being more detailed, I think that's what allows it to be more real to me.
Yeah, it feels like he has
It
that
could be.
intel.
It could be.
But he could also project.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Lewis and Harvey for years. Like, he projects. Like, it's
Right.
not ridiculous to think this was a one-off.
No, definitely.
It'd be
I-
interesting to know. Kelly H in the chat says, I don't think it happened. Or no, okay, it definitely didn't happen. I saw some people in the chat mentioning that they think that this is the guy.
Really interesting. Very
I
cool.
may just be putting words in their mouth now because
Because
I don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
If Lewis had looked him up in any kind of way, don't you think he would have recognized him when they went to the office? When he and Brian went to the office?
Right.
There would have been something that we would have seen on Lewis's face that's like a realization.
I might be proposing a crazy theory here.
I mean,
I'm sticking with it.
Lewis
the chat is coming down on me.
is-
We're like, no, you're wrong, Steve.
Lewis is so obsessive. Like I feel like he wouldn't just be able to walk away from it if it was this guy. You
You're
know
right,
what I
he
mean?
wouldn't-
Like, and when he was talking to Brian, like when he had time to cool down, I felt like that's where they related a lot. Like Brian was like, yeah, I lost it. Like my brain just switched into a different mode, and he just got so caught up in the anger, and like that's when inferior got thrown in there because he was projecting, and I think that rang true for Lewis a lot. And so for me, that's sort of the explanation when he heard inferior. That's like when the lights switched off and he just blacked out. Whatever.
No, I'm not going to take it back because I want to.
Totally. Well, no, yeah,
I want to bask in the glory next week if it's true.
Stick with
Hey,
it.
that'd be super cool.
But I'm fully prepared to walk back that
Fair
statement.
enough. Fair enough.
Is the way I'll go about it.
I
So much Lewis this episode. Loving everything
Yeah.
about it.
I do love the fact that Brian as a new dad is fiercely protective
Yeah.
of that title of father.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not gonna call me a bad father, especially when you don't know me, guy. I don't.
Yeah.
I just met you.
Mufasa Brian. No,
Yeah,
I was with Lewis where it was like, yeah, this was so cool. It was
That
nice to
fire
see
was
him.
warranted. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed, because Brian up until now had been a reluctant pushover, and up until this moment where it was but it was because he's a father. He was a reluctant pushover because he was a father, and then somebody called into question whether he was a good father, and he was like, "Excuse me."
He's like, I stay up late nights.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
You literally picked at the one thing I know I've devoted my entire life to doing, and then tied it into the other thing I've devoted my entire life to doing. Okay, I've devoted my life to two things. One is more important than the other, and he just spat that fire, and I loved it.
I mean, but okay, so is this guy? They're that company's general counsel. Who is this guy?
He's an
Did we establish?
he's
Did
in
they
the
establish?
associate. He's an associate in the.
Who,
No,
Brian?
Brian.
Brian or the
No, the guy he was talking
nipple
to.
guy?
Potential. The nipple guy.
The nipple dude.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's just the counsel
I
for the company.
You're right. They never specified whether he was counsel or the CEO because both parties said we. I would
Right.
imagine he was probably the counsel. A lot of.
Because I was asking that question to say Brian offered up the fact that he's a father. Had he not said anything, that guy wouldn't have thrown it back at him.
Yeah.
And then that whole conflict wouldn't have happened. But who knows?
Well,
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it would have to be a very law-savvy CEO of a nipple company, which I don't think
You just want to say nipple.
is the thing.
I'm convinced.
I'm pretty sure that's what we're after right
It's
now.
a technical term.
I
It's kind of
It is both a body part and a device.
it's not. They're not real nipples. Right?
And it
Not
was
human
funny every
nipples.
time they dropped it. It wasn't overly used
Yeah,
in the episode.
they laid off the nipples
Yeah.
after about midway through the episode. They
man.
really laid off the nipples. Gretchen going in this week.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
Gretchen.
Preach, Gretchen.
I love her. She's she's become full blown that firm mom, and I couldn't be happier. It was such a cool moment.
To
She
yell at Lewis.
yells at Lewis, then yells at her son. It was perfect. I was like, this is
Well, because she yells at Lewis for yelling at Brian.
yeah.
And then she yells at Brian.
Yeah, for being
How
yeah.
dare you
Yeah.
speak ill
Right.
of Lewis?
Disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be a
And
man
didn't
instead
even
of
refute.
yeah.
Didn't even refute Like, yeah, Lewis probably shouldn't have treated you that way. He did.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
Right.
You're gonna sit down and cry, or are you gonna
Yeah.
get up and
He
take
wasn't
action?
the
Exactly.
best person, but it came from a place. It came from a pure place because you let him down. You did
Yeah.
did wrong.
Yeah.
Like I
Exactly. You made a mess.
I like when the
you
moral
better-
tale is that
you either
clear.
Clean
Where
it up.
it's-
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're both gonna apologize. In the meantime,
Yeah.
are you gonna resign? Like,
No. Yeah. It was such a good moment.
I do understand Brian. Like, Brian like resigning made complete sense to me.
Oh yeah.
That he needed a Gretchen to literally like slap him into shape.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it because when Gretchen first came on, wasn't she like Donna, but not in Pearson Spector later, whatever. But she knew things, or she was able to perceive things.
Well, she wasn't. She hadn't been a secretary at a law firm, I believe. I believe she was a secretary at, because it was on this very show, because it was years ago where the first episode, Donna had a list of applicants, and Gretchen was like third on the list. And I took a screenshot and we all decided Gretchen would be the candidate. And then the next
Nice.
week he hired Gretchen. It was really cool. It was a big deal.
Nice.
But
Good prediction.
her experience was not that of an assistant or executive assistant or a secretary as much as it was more hands-on, which is what made her more necessary to handle something like Lewis.
Yeah, and she's also the only assistant really that we know. I mean, I'm sure there are others working in the background.
Hopefully.
Not at Harvey's desk.
Well,
People
hey,
just
there's-
walk in
there's
out of
a-
there like it's nothing.
There's people to shake shame bells when they're necessary,
But nobody to stop.
no
Andy
one's
from
no one's
just
answering the
walking
phone.
in.
Yeah.
I would just like to put out a public notice. I will go up to Canada and shoot episodes if Harvey needs an assistant that's against type to like what Donna would be.
I was gonna say that would be
Again,
interesting to
hey.
see Harvey with a male assistant.
Ari and Entourage had a male assistant for very long. It wasn't Lloyd. There was a separate like bro-y male assistant, and they bonded. It was really, really good.
Wait, when?
Nice.
Like the end of the because Lloyd became an agent
Head
in the middle of the
TV,
episode.
Head
Yeah,
of
like,
the TV department.
well, he became an agent and then head of the TV department
Yeah.
in the middle of the series. It's Entourage now, guys.
Yeah.
And then he had like a real bro-y assistant for a pretty long time. It's possible. The dynamic works.
Hey, switch it up.
Do you need my HBO Go login? Because I don't have one. I think we're talking about Entourage. We should probably move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Robert and Rachel Zane and a bank that's doing predatory lending, which love that we got more Robert Zane. Love that we got the initial. I love that we got the initial motivation that he wanted to do a case with, like a slam dunk case with his
Right.
daughter. But I also love both, like, the deep-seated roots of the CEO, but also that he saw Mike laying it all on the line. After everything Mike's been through, he's laying it all on the line to help prisoners he's never met, necessarily, because
Yeah.
he was in a public prison,
Yeah.
but he understands the system. And it really motivated Robert that it's like, I mean, if Mike's going to do it now, like if Robert Zane were ever in a place to actually do good in the world, it's now. Which that motivation enough would be enough to go after predatory, racist loans or mortgages. It gets deeper. That CEO also sexually harassed his sister,
I think so.
Rachel's aunt.
I
So
think
his
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
his sister, and then fired her when she complained.
I will say before that, we talked about it last week about the conversation between
Yes.
Robert and Rachel. It was quick. It happened. He was
Yeah.
He I'm trying to think of the right word. Not appreciated, but he respected that she did what she did as a lawyer. And he was like, "Okay, we're done. Moving on."
Yeah. And I think that's what allowed them to actually like work together. Like he was able to see her as just professionally and like be able to separate the two. So that was really cool to see them work together. Obviously, this was a passion thing for Robert, being that it was like his family and like he felt like that he had done wrong. I did want to see a little bit more Rachel, so hopefully if this case continues that she, figures out a way to step up or not necessarily step up, but like
Do a little more.
find a solution that Robert is obviously not seeing because he's so close to it. I think she is fully capable of doing that, and other than just calm him down, which she definitely needs as well, because he just kind of.
Well, and it's clear the case is well beyond, and I do like this entire story that he was like he was a young lawyer. He was a young lawyer. There was literally nothing he could do for his own sister. It's like kind of like that's the world we live in kind of a thing. That stories like that always irk me because it reminds me of a study I'll say briefly that allegedly the way the study went is they put five monkeys in a room and they put bananas at the top. They put bananas at the top of at the ceiling, and then they introduced a ladder into the room. If all five once they introduce the ladder, all five monkeys try to climb the ladder to get to the bananas. Once they do that, they pour sprinklers on the monkeys. Monkeys don't like to get wet. None of them climb the ladder. They took one monkey out, put another in. That monkey immediately tries to climb the ladder and grab the bananas. The other four monkeys, not wanting to get wet, beat up that monkey. And then they do that more than 5 times until the point is that 4 monkeys, none of whom were ever actually soaked by the water, beat up on a fifth monkey who's just trying to grab a banana.
It's conditioning.
Not knowing why.
Yeah.
And I think it's very similar. It's very like what Robert's seeing right now is very much like anytime somebody tells you, well, that's just the way things go around here. Why?
Yeah.
If you can't tell me why. And I think that Robert part was very much like he knew the why was just bad. And it's like that's how things are, and like he's finally trying to be an agent of change.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if he's going to continue on this route, because as we saw last week with the Reform Corp, it was kind of personal for him too, because he was like, the people from my neighborhood, they've fallen into this life, and so I want to do something to change it. I wonder, is this now the direction that he's going to take his career in? Because if he's getting closer to retirement, he might think, like you're saying, I need to be an agent of change. I need to have some mark that I leave, there's a name, or I pass on to Rachel and she continues, or something like that.
Or at least do right by somebody. Like, at least right a wrong he wanted to. Because he's going after the CEO mainly to right the wrong. He seemed a little transparent about it, to be very honest. Like, I need to depose the CEO.
Yeah.
You can have 12 loan officers and then maybe a bank manager. Like, can we...
If we get past the
Can
loan
we,
officers,
like-
Let's start at the
Can
beginning.
we-
Yeah. But no, I like the new Robert Zane. He used to be a little bit more one-dimensional, and he was just that like aggressive bulldog, kind of like Lewis was in the early days, and just kind of was more one note. And to see him call himself out on that and try to change, try to do like pro bono cases, try to do something for like the greater good, like is really cool. And you can see like it's still a struggle. Like he still goes about it in a similar way where it's like bulldoze by people and just like force them almost to change. And that's why I think him partnering with Rachel is actually really cool, because she's the opposite. Like she is very more like calm and like collected. Yeah, she's warm. She she can like honestly, I see her like next episode like appealing to these people to get them to like admit something as like more of like a friend. Obviously Robert is not able to do that. So, them being a team is really cool and not something that like other people is really like exemplified anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm about to ask, do we think Robert Zane, we see him next week? But that's a prediction, and I think we're ready.
I was just going to say
sorry.
really quick, I think it was intentional.